Oh, look.
आवाज करने का hey, don't talk. जनता अपसेट लागे ना don't talk. Last section. The introduction of solid waste management. Basic definition of different types of waste. Definition of solid waste management. Objectives of the solid waste management. Definition of the solid waste. The types of waste. Types of waste was in liquid waste, solid waste, gaseous waste. Its definition: solid waste. The definition of solid waste is that it is the unwanted or useless solid materials generated from combined residential. इकडे से बंद कर समोर से बंद कर लवकर बसून ठीक है राव दे बसून solid waste is the unwanted or useless solid materials generated from combined residential, industrial, commercial activity in a given area. That is solid waste. The solid waste management is the definition of solid waste that include this is a type of waste. Type of waste is solid waste, and we are going to see the solid waste management. It's various steps involved in the solid waste management. So, what is the definition of solid waste management? It is the process of collection, transportation, and disposal of solid waste in systematic, economic, and hygienic manner. So, the solid waste in a particular area or part of city that is collected in a proper collection method or transportation methods. Different methods of transportation are used. Disposal methods are adopted. So this process should be in a systematic manner, and it should be economical. It should incur less funds with minimum cost and within less time. This process should be adopted, and it should be hygienic in manner. It should improve the health of the human being and society, and health related problems that should be avoided. This is the objective. It's a definition of solid waste management, and objectives of solid waste management. There are 5 objectives studied. So what are the objectives? Objectives, it includes first one is public hygiene and public health. Health of the society should be improved. Should not spread the diseases, various types of diseases like malaria, typhoid, dengue. That should not be spreaded in a society. And the health of the environment, it should not affect the environment. This is one of the major objective of this solid waste management. Then the solid waste should be reused, recovered and recycled for various purposes. If it is the usable materials, that should be separated, and the materials, solid waste material, that should be used for energy generation, for generation of electricity. For that purpose, this solid waste materials are reused. And also it is useful for sustainable development, for aesthetic purpose. So these are the objectives to improve the aesthetics of the any particular area. So this solid waste management is very important. These are the objectives we have studied. Then various steps involved in this solid waste management. It includes waste generation, storage, collection, transfer and transport, processing and recovery, and disposal. These are the various steps involved in this solid waste management that we have seen. Then basic terms related to solid waste management or solid waste that we have studied. So in that we have seen some basic terms. Classification of waste we have studied. The basic terms we are going to study. Basic terms related to solid waste. So basic terms, it include ash, bulky waste, co-disposal. So ash is one of the solid waste. So how it is formed after combustion of the any solid material like wood, plastic, etc., furniture. So after combustion, heating, this ash is formed, which is the non-combustible solid, which is a byproducts of incineration or other burning processes. The residue which remain after combustion of the material, after burning of the wood, the ash is formed. This is one of the solid waste. Then bulky waste, it may be in the form of it is large waste such as appliances, furniture, or broken furniture, broken steel, or any wooden members. So trees, which is cut, or branches of the trees. These are all bulky waste that cannot be handled by normal municipal solid waste. These are the bulky waste. In a large quantity, they are accumulated. They are collected in large quantity. by normal MSW processing methods that cannot be handled by this by MSW processing methods, which are available in large quantity. Therefore, they are called bulky waste. The third one is co-disposal. The disposal of the different types of waste, which is area, which is dumped in a particular area. So the example, the sewage sludge, which is waste coming from the residential buildings, commercial buildings, or other types of or other buildings. The waste coming from the other sources, that is accumulated and it is dumped in one area of landfills. That is called co-disposal. Like I mentioned, co-disposal. Fourth term is a biodegradable material. Biodegradable means the material which is broken down by microorganisms after degradation, biological activities. The decaying of the or after degradation of the biological waste. So this biodegradable waste that is formed. The organic wastes are food, paper. These are biodegradable waste, which is this material that decay or that this material that degradation that can occur. These are called biodegradable material. The examples are given: food, paper, or other material. So they are affected by microorganisms, and more stable compounds are formed after their decaying. These are called biodegradable material. And then composting. Compostingचं वेगळं युनिट आहे, थर्ड युनिट आहे. कंपोस्ट म्हणजे काय? कंपोस्ट खत. त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो? कंपोस्ट खत. How it is formed? The material resulting from composting. Compost is also called as humus. It is a soil conditioner. त्याचा खत म्हणून वापरलं जातं. कंपोस्ट fertilizer. That is called compost. The process of composting means it is a biological decomposition of solid organic materials by bacteria, fungi, and other organisms into soil-like product. The solid organic materials that is decomposed. Decomposition is done, biological decomposition of the solid organic materials by bacterial activities, bacteria and fungi and other organisms into soil. This decomposition that occurs आणि त्यामुळे काय तयार होतं? कंपोस्ट. कंपोस्ट फर्टिलायझर इज फॉर्म. या प्रोसेसला काय म्हणायचं? कंपोस्टिंग. समजला कंपोस्ट अँड कंपोस्टिंग? And the disposal. Disposal means the final disposal, final handling of the solid waste, which is disposed of after collection, processing, or incineration. Finally, disposed of by using particular disposal methods. It may be disposed of in the dump, or it may be disposed of in a landfill. त्याला काय म्हणायचं, डिस्पोजर. आणि जे वेस्ट आहे, जे जिथं तुम्ही डंप करता लँडफिल मध्ये किंवा डंप मध्ये, तो फायनल disposal of the waste that carried out is the last step of this solid waste management, disposal. त्यानंतर environmental impact assessment. Environmental impact assessment, short it is called EIA. That evaluation is made to identify and predict the impact of an action or project on the environment. How much the impact on the environment due to this solid waste, that is analyzed. Assessment is done. Impact assessment. Like I would say, impact assessment on human health. How much the impact is done due to this solid waste. How much impact on the environment, that is assessed. So this includes the risk assessment along with economic and land use assessment. Both this assessment is included in this. Therefore, it is called environmental impact assessment. Like I said, environmental impact assessment. Another one, environmental risk assessment. Short form is ENRA, environmental risk assessment. So what it's called? It is an evaluation of the interactions of agents, humans, and ecological resources. So which agents are involved in this? In this risk assessment, humans, ecological resources, the evaluation of that various sources involved in this activity. That evaluation is done. त्यामध्ये काय करणार, this comprised of human health risk assessment of the human health, how it is affected to the risk assessment, ecological risk assessment related to environment, how much there is a impact on the environment, that assessment is done. So, evaluating the probabilities and magnitudes of harm that could come from environmental contaminants. So how much is a 9th term, environmental risk assessment. The risk assessment is done. Then the next term, 10th term, garbage. So what is garbage? Which is every day in usage, every day in our homes. This garbage is collected. So garbage is which is the term. The meaning of this term is the waste which is generated from food. Like the food waste, garbage. According to this Municipal Solid Waste Management Manual, the meaning of garbage is given. It is called as food waste. त्यामुळे काय येणार, waste related to food. The food, it may be rice or the waste which is thrown. Food, it is related to food material, rice, chapati, the wasted food that comes under this garbage. Landfilling. So Before that, we see the refuse. Refuse म्हणजे काय? All kinds of waste in solid state. Solid waste is one of the type of solid waste, excepting the excreta from residential, commercial, industrial area. Excluding this, the remaining waste, solid waste, is the refuse. त्यामध्ये काय काय येणार? Plastic materials, plastic bottles, papers, wooden materials which are in solid state, broken materials, broken plastics, scrap iron, etc. That is refuse. त्याला काय म्हणायचं? refuse. गार्बेज वेगळं आहे, रिफ्यूज वेगळं आहे. रिफ्यूज मध्ये फक्त सॉलिड मटेरियल्स येतात. गार्बेज मध्ये काय? ओनली फूड वेस्ट. अँड रबिश. रबिश इज अ टर्म फॉर सॉलिड वेस्ट used to exclude food waste. यामध्ये फूड वेस्ट येणार नाही. Other than food waste and ashes, the remaining waste is the solid waste, is the rubbish. तर यामध्ये सुद्धा जे सॉलिड वेस्ट आहे त्यामध्ये केर कचरा असेल, और leaves of the trees, or plastic material, iron material, these are which are in solid state, that are all rubbish. हे तिन्ही मधला डिफरन्स आहे, रिफ्यूज, रबिश अँड गार्बेज. यामध्ये डिफरन्स तुम्हाला माहिती पाहिजे. And leachate, which is in liquid state. Leachate that has sipped through the, is a liquid waste which sipped through a landfill or compost pile. After sipping through the landfill, the waste which is that is thrown out, that is called leachate. So it has a accumulated bacteria and harmful dissolved suspended materials. This is the leachate. This is a liquid in a liquid state. This is a liquid waste. Similar difference यामधला garbage, leachate, refuse and rubbish. And the landfilling. Landfilling म्हणजे काय? Final disposal of the solid waste in by placing it in controlled fashion in a place intended to be permanent. So the final disposal of the solid waste that is disposed of in a controlled fashion at a particular place that is permanent place that is where it is finally disposed of at a permanent location. In controlled fashion it is disposed of. त्याला काय म्हणायचं? लँडफिलिंग. तर त्यालाच काय नाव दिलेलं? कंट्रोल्ड डम्प्स अँड सॅनिटरी लँडफिल्स. This is called landfilling. त्यानंतर putrescible waste. Putrescible means is a waste which is the waste which is that accumulated after decomposition or decaying of the food waste. Decomposition झाल्यानंतर जे waste जे तयार होतं, after decomposition or decaying of the food waste or organic waste, that waste is said to be putrescible. तर मला putrescible म्हणजे काय? त्यानंतर आहे refuse derived fuel, RDF. Shortly it is called RDF. The fuel which is produced from municipal solid waste that has undergone processing. After processing, the fuel which is produced after processing on the solid waste, the fuel which is generated, त्याला काय म्हणायचं? Refuse derived fuel, RDF. So after separation of the recyclable or non-combustible materials of the solid waste, the fuel which is produced after separation of the recyclable material, non-combustible material that are separated out from the solid waste. जे सॉलिड वेस्ट अक्युमुलेट झालेलं आहे त्यामधनं जे रिसायकलेबल मटेरियल आहे ते बाजूला काढायचं, जे नॉन कंबस्टिबल मटेरियल आहे ते सुद्धा बाजूला काढायचं, किंवा श्रेडिंग, साइज रिडक्शन, पेलेटायझिंग करून त्यावर प्रोसेसिंग केलं जातं. From that material, the fuel which is produced, that fuel is called refuse derived fuel. त्याला काय म्हणायचं? Refuse derived fuel, RDF. Then the last term, waste to energy plant. समझ लाए basic term related to solid waste. And last one is waste to energy plant. The facility that uses solid waste materials to produce the energy. In a plant, WTA plant, shortly it is called WTA plant, in which the processing is done on raw material. जे raw material जे जमा झाले, waste material जमा झालेले आहेत त्यामध्ये प्रोसेसिंग करून जे नॉन कंबस्टिबल मटेरियल आहे किंवा जे रिसायकलेबल मटेरियल आहे त्यावर प्रोसेसिंग करून त्या मटेरियल पासून काय प्रोड्यूस केले जातं? एनर्जी इज प्रोड्यूस. So that energy is produced by after processing on a solid waste material. So in the WT plants, त्यामध्ये काय असतात? त्या प्लांट मध्ये इन्सिनरेटर्स म्हणजे जे सॉलिड वेस्ट बर्न करतात त्याला काय म्हणायचं? इन्सिनरेटर. The incineration is done in these incinerators that produce steam for district heating or industrial use, or that generate electricity. So that this includes the facilities that convert landfill gas to electricity. So in this WTA plant, after processing on the solid waste material, the energy is generated that is used to generate the electricity. म्हणून त्याला काय म्हणलेलं आहे? वेस्ट टू एनर्जी प्लांट. म्हणजे वेस्ट पासून, सॉलिड वेस्ट पासून एनर्जी जनरेट करायचं. So where it is done in this WTA plant, waste to energy plant, where waste to energy is produced. So these are the basic terms related to solid waste. समझ ला basic term. Any difficulty in this? Please ask. क्या problem है क्या? As in this term, ash, bulky waste, co-disposal, biodegradable material, compost, composting, disposal, environmental impact assessment, EIA, environmental risk assessment, garbage, landfilling, leachate, MSW, MSWM, irreversible, refuse, refuse derived fuel, rubbish, and waste to energy plant. These are the various terms related to solid waste materials. तुम्हाला इथपर्यंत you have seen the kinds of waste: solid waste, liquid waste, solid waste. Solid waste are the waste which include the domestic, commercial, and industrial waste, especially common as co-disposal of waste. These are the co-disposal of waste. त्यामुळे काय होणार सॉलिड वेस्ट मध्ये प्लास्टिक मटेरियल, कंटेनर्स, प्लास्टिक बॉटल्स, cans, papers, scrap iron material, or other trash material that is included in the solid waste. Liquid waste मध्ये काय होणार the waste which is in a liquid form that are called liquid waste. त्यामध्ये काय येईल domestic washings, after washing of the utensils in the kitchen, that is liquid waste, chemicals, oils in oil industries, chemical industries, wastewater from ponds, manufacturing industries, and other sources which is in liquid state. काय म्हणायचं liquid waste. Then classification based on properties of waste that include biodegradable and non-biodegradable material. The material that can be degraded that are called biodegradable, and material that cannot be degraded that are called non-biodegradable. Biodegradable मध्ये काय येतात paper, wood, fruits, or other materials that are degradable by biological activities. Like our biodegradable waste. Non-biodegradable waste मध्ये काय येणार not degraded by biological activities. म्हणजे सॉलिड फॉर्म मध्ये त्यामध्ये काय येणार प्लास्टिक्स which is non-biodegradable, bottles, old machines, iron, cans, containers. These are all non-biodegradable waste. समजला दोन्ही मध्ये डिफरन्स. Then classification based on effect on the human health and environment. Environment and human health वर कसं affect होतं, how it is affected. Based on that, the wastes are classified into hazardous waste and non-hazardous waste. जे मानवी आरोग्याला जे धोकादायक आहे किंवा एन्व्हायरमेंट पोल्युशन, ज्यामुळे पोल्युशन होतं, वॉटर पोल्युशन, environmental, it will affect on the environmental feature. Hazardous waste that include, it may be reactive, toxic, corrosive, and they are dangerous. Hazard म्हणजे काय danger. Hazardous means dangerous to the living things or human being. It will harmful to the health of the human being. It will spread the various diseases, various bad effects on the human being, and it will affect on the environment due to water pollution, binding of the chemicals, toxic material in the water, in the river or ponds. If it is potable water, if it is mixed with the water, then it will be impure. And if you drink that water, then health-related problem will create. So therefore, this type of waste are called hazardous waste. Or there may be loss of life, or the health of the human being will be affected. These are called hazardous waste. Non-hazardous means which is not dangerous for the human health and to the environment, which is safe. This type of waste are safe for human being. They are safe to use commercially, industrially, agriculturally, or economically. They are safe. They are not much effect on the living things and environment. Therefore, this type of waste are called non-hazardous waste. Similar kinds of waste, types of waste, which include solid waste, liquid waste, biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste, hazardous waste, and non-hazardous waste. From where this waste that comes in this flow chart that is given. MSW sources. MSW means municipal solid waste. From which source? From this solid waste is collected from household, from the houses. It may be in the form of solid waste or liquid waste. Municipal solid waste आपण daily आपण तुम्ही सोसायटी मध्ये तुम्ही you collect the waste in the form of dry waste and wet waste. ज्याला आपण काय म्हणतो सुका कचरा आणि ओला कचरा या दोन पार्ट्स मध्ये ते वेस्ट आपण डिवाइड करून घंटा गाडी मध्ये ते आपण ते डंप करतो. These are the sources from household, from the commercial areas, commercial buildings, horticulture, institutional, construction and road sweeping. This all comes under municipal solid waste sources. A municipal solid waste that collects this solid waste from these various sources, from household, commercial buildings, horticultures, institutional buildings, construction and road sweeping. And this solid waste which is collected by the municipalities, where this solid waste management that is done by from this authorities, municipal solid waste, regarding the municipal solid waste sources. So in our India, how much the quantity of the solid waste that is generated? Solid waste in India up to 7.2 million tons of hazardous waste that is generated. all over the India, which is about 7.2 million tons. And 1 square kilometer of additional landfill area every year that is used for landfilling, which is used as a landfill area for the solid waste. And for this solid waste management, for treatment and disposal of this waste, rupees 1,600 crore rupees, which is invested on this solid waste for the treatment of the solid waste, for its processing, collection, processing, treatment, and disposal of this solid waste. The government that spends the rupees 1,600 crores for the management of the solid waste. The scenario of this solid waste management in India. The source which is taken from Ministry of Environment and Forest. This source, from this source, these values are taken. In addition to this, industries discharge about 150 million tons of high volume, low hazard waste every year. From the industrial sources, industrial buildings, the discharge of this waste is about 150 million tons of high volume, low hazard waste every year that is generated. And this waste is mostly dumped on a open, low-lying land areas. This industrial waste is dumped. The growth of solid waste in India, how growth is done in this growth of the solid waste is done from the year 1981 to 1991. Population of Mumbai increased from 8.2 million to 12.3 million. With the growth of population, there is an increase in the solid waste. So during the same period, municipal solid waste has grown from 3,200 tons to 5,355 tons. Increase in the solid waste is that is grown from 1981, from the year 1981 to 1991. The increase किती झाले percentage ने increase किती percent ने increase झाले 67%. With the increase in population, there is a growth in the solid waste up to 67% increase that is done. Waste collection is very low for all Indian cities. Waste collection is very low in various cities or towns, villages. So therefore, effective management should be made for this collection, transportation and disposal of the waste. And city like Bangalore that produces 2,000 tons of waste per annum, the ever increasing waste has put pressure on hygienic condition of the city. So it creates the hygienic condition in the city. The Bangalore that produces 2,000 tons of the waste per annum. In various major cities, this quantity is more in major cities like Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, New Delhi. So where this increase in this solid waste is increasing year by year. Therefore, there should be a proper solid waste management system should be developed. Estimated waste generation is about 1 lakh metric ton per day. Waste generation किती होता 1 lakh metric ton per day. आणि per capita किती आहे per capita waste generation ranges between 0.2 to 0.6 kg. एवढं आहे per capita waste generation. आणि waste collection efficiency in bigger size cities efficiency किती आहे 70 to 90% in bigger cities, and in small towns, small size town, it is 50 to 60% waste collection efficiency. And local authorities spend less 5% of their budget on waste disposal, and maximum cost is incurred on street sweeping. Less expenditure, less amount is spent on for the collection of the waste. Maximum cost is incurred on street sweeping and collection and transportation of the waste. So maximum जास्तीत जास्त cost कशामध्ये होता कशामध्ये generate होता in street sweeping, collection of the waste, transportation of the waste. These huge funds are required. So this table shows the solid waste, municipal solid waste, city type, various cities are shown in this column, and amount of municipal solid waste that is given, and per capita waste is given kg per day in this column. See this in Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Bhopal, Bombay, Calcutta, Coimbatore, Delhi, Hyderabad, Indore, Jaipur, Kanpur, Kochi, Lucknow, Ludhiana, Madras, Madurai, Nagpur, and Patna, Pune, Surat, Vadodara, Varanasi, Visakhapatnam. Okay, here we stop. Next lecture will continue.